Heya, this is Pokéball35, and I'm doing something a little different today because I feel like it. So I had this idea, as I was playing through Plants vs. Zombies 2 Eclise, the mod I have been recently streaming and also putting up highlights for on the channel, and I thought it would be a neat idea to do a tier list. I saw a couple other videos just around YouTube of, like, tier lists of, like, actual, just regular Plants vs. Zombies or Plants vs. Zombies 2, and the Eclise tier list would be a little bit different because every plant in the game is accessible normally. Like the one that I saw for base PVZ2 left out all the premium plants because you pay for those. And I thought it would be a neat idea since I've pretty much done everything I want to do with the game. There's probably going to be a couple more highlight videos. I don't even know what playlist to put this in, to be honest, because this isn't a stream highlight. I'm just recording this normally, but I thought this would be a neat thing to make. So we have best, extremely useful, very useful, decent, meh, bad, and also doesn't exist, because there's stuff in here that doesn't exist. Like, what the hell's this thing? I don't know what this is. It looks stupid, though. But I'm just gonna go right down the list of everything, and I will put everything in order of how I feel like it should go. And we're gonna start with Eclise, which I think Eclise is very useful. I will move things around and add tiers if I need to. I've never really done one of these videos before, but we will see how this goes. Eclise hits things in a lane 3 times. Also, I'm gonna clarify right now, I'm only doing this as tier 1. Some plants I used in my playthrough, I tiered up to be more useful. We are just doing these base tier, first unlock. We're just doing it like that. So, I really like tier 3 Eclise just because it's really overpowered, but it's also 1,750 sun. This is just 350, it's good, it takes care of stuff in the lane, it's good. Aloe, also very useful. Actually, I'll put it in decent, because decent, it's really good for just, putting behind a walnut, specifically like either like tall nut or endurian or primal, walnut. You're really only using aloe on those. I don't really know who else uses aloe on, like, any other plant unless it's, like, a special thing. I don't know what the hell you are. Apple mortar. This is a plant I never got to use in PVZ2, because I never just got it. I think it was, like, a $5 thing. Apple mortar is, like, one of the last things you unlock in Eclise. I think it is extremely useful. There was a couple levels in it that it was just kind of, like, bad in, but it's 900. But, like, in Eclise, like, endgame Eclise, you're getting, like, a bunch of sun anyway. So, having Apple Mortar there, it's 900, hits 3 different lanes with a massive thing. It's probably, like, the best plant food in the game. I might even put it in best tier later. Don't know what you are. Banana Launcher, I only used, like, a couple times. There was, like, a special quest line with Banana Launcher that existed. It's 1,000 sun for this thing. It's just kind of meh. Bloomerang, kinda meh. It's like, it's there, it's good for the world you have it in, but then you get better stuff later on. Blooming Heart is something I never got to use until Eclise. I'm just gonna I don't know if it's, like, bad. I'm gonna put it in bad for now. The way it works is that it's 100 sun, and you, are supposed to place, like, a bunch of them down to stack the damage, but, like, I never really did that very often. Blover is, actually the best plant in the game. It doesn't exist, though. Don't know what you are. Pomegranates. I'd say it's a decent explosive. It doesn't do that much damage, but it also leaves, like, the residue seeds on the ground. And those can be stepped on. I'd say it's decent. Bunk Choi is probably decent. I don't use it that often. It's good for taking out graves in Egypt. It's good for just other sorts of challenge type levels that you need this for. I didn't really use it that often. Bowling Bulb probably goes there. It's meh. Like, you're always still waiting for the first, like, you place it down, it shoots all 3, but then you have to wait for the thing to recharge. It's just bad. I don't want to, no, bad, yes. Tier 1 Cabbage Pult, I'd say, is very useful. Put it there. Cabbage Pult is just like, it's good. It's like better than Pea Shooter. Even though it shoots a little bit slower but does more damage. Cactus is super weird in Eclise, where it just like, it's rapid fire in a bunch of lanes and then it shrinks into the ground and it becomes a spike weed. I'd say Cactus is pretty decent. Again, I never really used Cactus that much. Cauliflower is something I never got to use until Eclise, and I love this thing. It's 750 Sun, but when you let this thing rip, it just destroys. It's really good in all of the, or most of the, last stand levels that are in the game. You can just place a Cauliflower down, and it just destroys. Celery Stalker, I'd say, is extremely useful. You put that in conjunction with like a walnut, and then like a spike weed, and then a celery stalker, and that just stacks the damage. You can freeze a zombie and have the celery stalker go to town on it. It's like one of the best things to have. Cherry Bomb, I'd say, is very useful. I don't know why I skipped Chard Guard. Chard Guard is decent. I never really used it that much, but it flicks stuff back, it does a little bit of damage, and it's just a good stalling. Cherry Bomb is the standard bomb. If you don't really have any other explosive, I'd say it's useful for that. I severely underrate Chili Bean, just because, like, I just forget it exists. I just forget Chili Bean is even there. I mean, it insta-kills one zombie, which is really good for, like, really high defense ones with like massive armor, like the sarcophagus guys, or like the fishing crate guys, or like anything else that's really strong, and then it freezes everything else, or stuns everything else in the lane. But like, I can't remember a single time I don't think I ever picked this plant throughout the entire story. Maybe like one time, but I can't think of it. Chomper is good. We'll put Chomper here in the very useful. It's just, it gets rid of stuff, and it's just kind of reusable. You just put that behind a nut, and you're good to go. Citron, I'd say, is bad. I mean, it, like, one-shots most, like, basic zombies. It two-shots, like, buckets, I think. It's good for Gargantuars, but, like, for the 400 Sun that it is, it's fine. I tiered mine up, and I got, like, 0 use out of it. Coconut Cannon, at the point in the game that you get Coconut Cannon in, it's like not even useful because there's so many better things in the game. You get this in like your second visit to Pirate Seas, I think. I don't even remember where you unlock it, actually. I don't even think it's Pirate Seas. Coconut Cannon, though, is good-ish. We'll put it in meh for now. Cold Snapdragon, I don't really like that much, but it slows things down, and you can follow it up with other sorts of plants. I vastly prefer just regular Snap. This is actually in the game. It's called the Shadow Leaf. I don't remember what it's called in base PVZ2, but Shadow Leaf, I'd say it's decent. It levels up your plants, like all your shadow stuff. It makes them automatically do their shadow thing, so you don't need a Moonflower, but also I never really used it outside of the Shadow Leaf special quest. I never really used it, but if you want to use it, I'd say it's decent. Don't know what you are. Dandelion, 100% bad. That's just going right there. It's like 150 Sun base, but it's like 500 tiered up to tier 2, and that makes it extremely useful, but we're counting it as like base when you get it. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. The recharge on the petals takes forever, or whatever you want to call them, the fluff. It takes forever to recharge. It's just not good. You want to tier that one up. Dusk Lobber, meh. Like, super meh. I don't really care for Dusk Lobber at all. You want to put it next to a Moonflower to have it shoot in 3 lanes, but if you're really using Dusk Lobber for, like, shooting when everything else exists in the game, why? Electric Blueberry, very useful, I'd say. We'll put that here. I really like Electric Blueberry. It targets special zombies first, so if there's anything like octopi zombies or wizards or whatever that sucks and you don't like it, you want an Electric Blueberry out. I got a lot of use out of this. I'd say it's good. Electric Current I never got to use until Eclise. You can make some really busted strategies with this, with combining it with garlic, but it really is only good with garlic, putting things into other lanes. I should also probably like get like screenshots of like Garlemite, because there's custom plants in that. I'll get screenshots or something and add it in. But yeah, Electric Current, meh. You don't really use it that often. Electric Pea Shooter, you get near the end of the game. I'd say it's decent. I'll rearrange stuff later. Electric Pea Shooter is decent. I vastly prefer Laser Beam over Electric Pea Shooter. They pretty much do the same thing, except this hits multiple lanes, kinda. EM Peach, Tier 1 is fine, Tier 2 is better, but Tier 1, it's good, it's good, it's meh, it's, you want stuff, it's really only good against, like, the mechs. And actually, you know, Boombox Zombies, you know what? It's going up to decent, because Boombox Zombies suck. I hate the Boombox ones with the frickin'... What the hell is it called? Charming Hits. You want this. Yes, Charming Hits and also Bulls and stuff. That's good. You don't exist. Endurian, I tiered this up to Tier 2 immediately, but I still think Tier 1 is very useful. Doesn't have as much health and stuff, and it costs less sun. But very useful indeed. You put this, combine this with an aloe, and you're like good forever. It does a bunch of damage. It's got decent health. With the aloe, it's even better. You don't exist. Escape Route. I don't care for Escape Route at all. I unlocked Escape Route from the special level you unlock Escape Route in. I can't say I ever specifically went out of my way to pick Escape Route ever throughout the entire playthrough. So no to that. You don't exist. Explodo Nuts. It's an interesting plant. You can like combine this with like Intensive Carrot and stuff. And I play a level like that. I'd say it's a novelty plant. Pretty much. Like, you can like stall a bunch and you can do a bunch of damage. You can clear out a couple things. I don't really have much else to say about Explodonut. Fire Pea, extremely useful. It's pretty much double damage, just about, for like a normal shot. You're like using this with like, it's like a repeater, without the torch, like repeater Torchwood, but without it. Also, it cools down stuff in Frostbite Caves or any other level that you have that in. It's just always good to shoot with. Fume Shroom, I'd say, also is extremely useful. The cooldown is a little bit annoying. It, like, never comes out when you want it to. But it hits everything. Like, even the invisible guys that you see, like, I call them the funny guys, the invisible guys. Balloon zombies, other floating stuff. It pretty much takes care of all that stuff really well. Garlic, meh, only really useful with Electric Current. Ghost Pepper, I really like Ghost Pepper. We'll put that in decent. It does a bunch of damage in one lane. It's good for if you're dealing with octopi. There's a bunch of octopus stuff that you have to deal with, or gravestones. It also just does good damage. I like it. Gold Bloom, I really like Gold Bloom, but only because I have it on Tier 2. Tier 1 Gold Bloom is, I think, 300 sun, and it gives you 375 back. You really want this at Tier 2 because it's a 150 sun and gives you 375 back. I'd say Gold Bloom normally is just kind of bad. Like, you're getting, like, 75 sun profit. Gold Leaf, on the other hand, pretty good. Having it in the back of your defense, or, like, anywhere on the field, everywhere where you're having a plant, like, permanently placed, that's just extra sun that you're getting. What the hell are you? I don't know what you are. Grape Shot. Grape Shot, I'd say is probably... I'm gonna put this in best. Hot take, putting it in best, not extremely useful, just because it's 250. Yeah, 250 sun instead of 150 sun, but it comes out faster. The explosion might not be as powerful, but all the goo balls, the grape shots that shoot out from it are really clutch. They're really good, especially in the lane that you place it in. It just goes, they go bounce up and down. Really good for taking out Gargantuars or literally anything else in the game. I like Grape Shot. Gravebuster, we'll say it's meh because you're really only using Gravebuster in Egypt. I mean, also I guess in Dark Ages as well, but not really much else. Grimrose, meh. Grimrose, meh. I unlocked Grimrose, I never really used it. I think it one-shots anything that's there, and you pair it with a Moonflower, and it one-shots 3 things, and then it disappears. I actually haven't even tried if you can, like, intensive carrot those at all. Like, if they disappear, you can intensive carrot it. I haven't even tried. But maybe. I don't even think it one-shots Gargantuars, so, nah. Guacodile does not shoot in Eclise, but I still think it's decent. It clears out pretty much like a whole lane. It hits a whole lane. It's good for taking out stuff that are just annoying. It's also just free damage, and also during levels where like you can't lose plants, they're just good to have. It doesn't count as losing a plant. Holly Barrier I never got to use until Eclise. I'd say actually Holly Barrier, despite the fact that I never really use it that often, I'd say it's very useful because it's a wall and it shoots like 4 or 5 other walls out of it, and they also do like pushback good damage. Yeah, I never really used it that much, but for if you do want to use it, I'd actually recommend using Holly Barrier if you want. Homing Thistle. Homing Thistle. Homing Thistle. You already know how much I love Homing Thistle. I already liked Homing Thistle in PVZ2 base whenever I played that, except I haven't really played that in years, but this, I love this. It's 150 sun, comes out really fast. It's not like super fast, but it comes out fast, and I use this as a replacement for every other TSPP or temporary solution permanent problem plant in the game, other than like either like Grape Shot or something or anything else really. This, like, in the beginning, if you're using Potato Mine to take out the first zombie, that's fine. If you're using Squash to take out the first zombie, that's fine, or whatever. This, you place it down, it's 150. You place it down, it takes care of the first zombie, the second zombie, the third zombie, and everything else after that. And since it's 150 sun, you can just place a bunch of these. There's no reason not to place a bunch of these. They have so much defense in this too, so like they don't get eaten right away. So you can get out 5 Homing Thistles extremely fast and then plan out the rest of your defense later. And really, 5 Homing Thistles is all you really need, and anything else is just extra. I love this plant. Hot Date. It works like garlic and move stuff in other lanes, but it's like a one-time use thing. I say this is even more meh than garlic, really. I just don't really care for Hot Date. If it's like a replacement for garlic, but you probably want to have garlic and this at the same time. Hot Potato is meh. If you're using this in Frostbite Caves, that's fine. But also Pepperpult and Fire Pea Shooter exist to cool things down, so if you want to get like one thing, that's fine. I personally would say tier this up to tier 3 as soon as you possibly can, because even though Hot Potato is free, normally it's like free with like really good cooldown. Like, it doesn't even have cooldown, it's just free, you can use it and spam it. But, it costs 50 sun to tier it up to when you tier it up to tier 3, and it melts octopi. So it's just really good in both Frostbite Caves and Big Wave Beach, or any other world that has stuff, because sometimes they just mess with stuff. So tier this up. Tier up Hot Potato. Hurricane, I think, is like 225 normally, I think. I really pretty much tiered this and Jalapeno up immediately, and it made it like so much better, but for what it is, it pushes things back in the lane, slows things down. It's good for stalling. Hypno Shroom, decent again. Again, you just get the one zombie on your side, and it can clear things out if you hypnotize a Buckethead or anything else that's strong. That's just really good. Iceberg Lettuce is free at tier 1, but it also only freezes one zombie. You can pair this up with Celery Stalker and it would be fine or something like that, but base Iceberg Lettuce, I'd say, is just bad. Like, you want to tier this thing up. It's really cheap to tier it up because it's one of the first things you get in the game. You're going to want to tier that up as soon as you possibly can. Imitator, I haven't unlocked Imitator, but it's just like the same thing as like everything else. I don't even know where to place Imitator. I'm just gonna make a tier that just says Imitator. Add row. I'm just gonna say Mime, because I don't want to spell out Imitator. Mime. Mime goes there. Infinite. It blocks everything to squares in front of it and behind it, but everything you place after that doesn't count. I think it's decent. It's not my first choice for a nut, but it's there. Intensive Carrot, I'd say, is actually very useful. I never really use it that much. I say that for a lot of these things, but for the levels I did use it in, it helped a lot. For stuff that's, like, really expensive, like Cauliflower or anything else that I had that's really expensive, and that gets, like, somehow destroyed by some sort of means, somehow. Intensive Carrot is a good way to bring that stuff back. Also, Intensive Carrot, Holly Barrier, really good combo. Let the Holly Barrier get eaten after you use all the things and you Intensive Carrot it, and it gets all the stuff back. Also, it's pretty good with Explodonut as well. Jack-o'-lantern is like 600. I'd say it's meh. Jack-o'-lantern just kind of like takes things out. Like, I think it's like 4 tiles ahead of it or something like that. And that's okay. I'd really just put this behind a nut, but also there's just better things out there to just deal. We'll put it, it's not even like that meh. Like, it's fine. Jalapeno, I think, is 125 or something like that. Normally, you want to tier this thing up. It's just better tiered up. I still think it's good. I'd put it, like, right next to Hurricane. I say it's even better than Hurricane, which I think goes, like, here. Also, if I don't even know how I want to do this, because, like, I think people, like, put, like, the best stuff at the front, and then the worst stuff at the end. So, actually, this would have to, like, go, like, here. Or something like that, because this would just be terrible. I hate this thing. We'll figure it out as we go. Kernel Pult, Tier 1. The stuff is just better. I'd say this phone. I didn't mute that. Having these two together is good. Kernel Pulse, it butters more in Eclise, so it's just good to have out at the beginning of any level before you get anything else, because you get Kernel Pult pretty early. You want to use this before pretty much anything else, because you're not getting Homing Thistle for quite a while. You're not getting just a bunch of other stuff for a while, but just even standalone, I'd say it's pretty good. Kiwi Beast is in 1 level in Eclise, and it is not something I enjoy at all. I do not like Kiwi Beast. Actually, that would go here, right? I don't even know. Just whatever. Kiwi Beast, suck. Do not like Kiwi Beast. I have a highlight of it on the channel of the level that Kiwi Beast is in. Not a fan. Laser Beam, I would put at extremely useful, just because... You know, I'm gonna also... I might move Electric Blueberry up, I'm not sure. Extremely useful, Laser Beam. It doesn't do that much damage, but it also just hits everything in the lane. Hits through graves, hits through octopi, hits through, like, the shields and stuff from the shield guys in Far Future. It's just good to have overall. Lava Guava, don't really care for that much. It puts a lava tile down. It does a bunch of damage on that one tile. I'd say it's actually like a better Spikeweed, but I think it's like temporary. I think this goes away after a while. Lightning Reed, do not care for in the slightest. It's meh. When you get Lightning Reed near the end of the game, and by then, are you really wanting to use Lightning Reed? It's good against chickens, but also, like, other things work against chickens, and also the weasels and stuff as well. But, like, Lightning Reed, I don't care for Lightning Reed. Its plant food is really good, though. But Lightning Reed by itself is bleh. And then even tearing it up, it doesn't even really help. It hits more zombies, but does less damage. I don't know why you'd want that. Lily Pad, we're gonna put Lily Pad in very useful, just because it's Lily Pad. It's Big Wave Beach. You need this when you play Big Wave Beach levels. Actually, you know what? For that, I'd say it's decent, actually. We'll put that in decent, because that doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't matter in any other world, unless you're playing, like, a special level. Magnitude takes forever to recharge, but it's 50. It's decent. If you can get more than, like, 2 Magnetrooms out, it's good. Also, like, Magnetroom plant food, I'd say is pretty good. It gets rid of all metallic stuff on the field and then throws it back at the zombies. Good. Okay, yeah, Sunflower's down here. I was like, where the hell's Sunflower? It's been a while. Magnifying Grass, we put at meh, because I'm really only using this when paired with, like, Twin Sun or, like, really good sun production. If you have really good sun production, if you need to cheese out a level with and you need really good sun production, you just use this. You know, we'll put it in decent, too, because it, like, kills Gargantuars really fast. You just need to have the sun for it, but it's, like, it's not my first choice. Marigold technically exists. We're going to put it in the mime tier. Because Marigold technically exists. It's the Zen Garden thing. You get money for it. In the Zen Garden, that's it. Freaking Melon Pulse is like 350 actually. No, 650. I can speak. 650. I don't use Melon and Winter Melon as often as I used to in, like, base PVZ2, because you unlock these not really late. It's in, like, the first half of the game, I think. But it does good damage, though. Actually, we'll put this in very useful. I just underrate it, just because I don't use it that often. Again, I've said that for a lot of plants. I don't use it that often. But when I did use Melon Pole, it does good damage. It's fine. Mistletoe, I never use until Eclise. It's like a better and worse Banana Launcher at the same time. It's 500 sun less than Banana Launcher, but it slows things down. And it doesn't do as much damage. Like, so it's okay if you want to use Mistletoe. I'm not hating you or anything. Not my first choice. Moonflower. I'm never really using Moonflower for sun production, like, ever. Yeah, I'm never really using Moonflower for sun production ever. At all. In the slightest whatsoever. It does power up Shadow Plants. That being said, this thing is also bad. I mean, it does a bunch of damage in one area, but you can only use it 3 times, and then it's useless, and you pair it up with a Moonflower, and it does, like, 3 times less damage, but it's like a projectile. But if you're really using this as a projectile, why? Parsnip I never used until Eclise. I think this is a decent plant. Yeah, this. We put this here. Parsnip does a bunch of damage. It, like, kills a bunch of things, and then, like, they'll walk up to it, they pinch it, and then when it's about to die, it comes up and does a bunch of damage in that one row. It's just better. Guacodile, the thing that Guacodile has is the reason why Guacodile would be better in any scenario is that this just has better recharge. Parsnip has really bad recharge. It does not come out very often. Peanut. is like a weird rapid fire thing in Eclise. Decent. I'd say Peanut is decent. If you pair it up with Torchwood, I'd say it's really good. But its shot speed is like unreliable, or the way it shoots is unreliable, like Cactus. But I'd say Cactus is better because I think Cactus has piercing. So whatever it is, I don't know which way I placed that. Peapod. Peapod is meh. Peapod's decent. Peapod is decent. I don't use Peapod. I prefer other things, but if you want to go ham with Peapod, place a bunch of Peapods with a Torchwood, that's fine. Not my first choice for shooting. I have better things to use for shooting. Plus, you unlock Peapod really late, unless you're you did the special level, bonus level for it. Regular old pea shooter is decent. It's just, it comes out fast, it's 100 sun. If you need anything at all to just get rid of some things, it's a pea shooter. You know about pea shooter, it's a pea shooter. I don't know what you are. Pepper Pulse. We will put this in very useful, because Pepper Pulse has splash damage, I believe. It's also, I think, 200. I tiered this thing up to 400, and I barely ever got any use out of it, but just base. It's good. I like, Pepper Pulse. It does good things. Perfume Shroom. This is also going in the Mime tier, because you're really only using this against... Actually, no, it's going in... It's just going in bad. It's just going in bad. If it's tier 1, it's going in bad. It's only useful against the dinosaurs. It's good against the dinosaurs, but you want to tier this thing up. The recharge is faster. It costs a little bit more sun, but the recharge is faster. It's a lot more useful when you tier this thing up. Fat Beat I unlocked and then never used. We're going in meh. It does damage, like, a little bit of damage, like, every second, and it's good. I just never really got a lot of use out of it. I used, like, Garlic Fat Beat for a while. And by for a while, I mean in maybe like 2 levels. Potato Mine. We put you in very useful just because you're just good in general. It takes out the first thing that you need, and you can just place them whenever you want. It's just nice, quick, easy kill. Power Lily, I did manage to unlock. I want to say Power Lily. Once you get 399 gems to unlock Power Lily, I'd say Power Lily is just one of the best things in the game. Because that's just free plant food. You can get plant food and then just use it on anything you want. I pair it with Sunflower to get more sun, or Homing Thistle just for good stuff, or just Apple Mortar. And actually, you know what? We'll put Apple Mortar up in best. It's 900 sun, and it hits all 3 lanes, and plant food is like the best. We're putting Apple Mortar up. Primal Pea Shooter. Primal Pea Shooter, I love this thing so much. We're putting this in best. I don't care. Primal Pea Shooter, I've gotten so much use out of. The way it works in Eclise is that it doesn't shoot for like 10 seconds when you place it down, but then it starts shooting, and it always does knockback. This is just fantastic. This is stalling, does good damage, and paired with other things, it's just perfect. Primal Pea Shooter, absolutely, I'd say top. Primal Potato Mine is 200. It's very useful. It's better than Potato Mine, I'd say. It does damage in, I think, like a 7x7 radius or something like that. It's not a lot of damage, but in the right scenario, you know, we'll even put this in extremely useful. You can just pair this up with a lot of things, and it just makes it a good explosive. Primal Sunflower, absolutely best. I prefer to use Primal Sun whenever I can. I got to the point where I unlocked, like, Sunflower is what you want to have as your go-to. Primal Sun is what you want to have as your go-to late game. Because late game, you get the ability to have 100 sun in your bank at the start, and that means 1 Primal Sunflower at the beginning. Before, you have like 50 and 75 sun at the beginning of a level. And you're not able to place Primal down fast enough. This is just good. When you have good stuff going, this just produces a bunch of sun, lets you get a lot of really expensive things out. Good. Primal Walnuts. Very useful. It's a short stall, but Gargantuars, it stalls Gargantuars completely. This combined with Aloe is perfect. It literally makes an unstoppable force. The Gargantuar hits the thing, and then the Aloe heals it. And this thing takes like 11 hits from Gargantuars or something like that. It's an unstoppable force. Pair it with that. Puff Shroom. I believe I tiered up Puff Shroom, but Puff Shroom normally is fine. It's decent. It's what you want as your go-to for nighttime levels. It does good damage. It doesn't kill things right away, but you can get this out and then get other things out, etc. It's good. Red Stinger, I believe I tiered up to have it be like less sun. I don't even remember what tier 1 Red Stinger even is. Also, you don't exist, and you don't exist. I'm just putting those there because I see them. Red Stinger, I want to say, like, the damage on tier 2 is better than tier 1. Tier 1, I just say it's bad. Like, I never really used Red Stinger outside of, like, a handful of levels. Repeater goes up to extremely useful. This is just, it's 2 shots, and paired with other things, it's good. It's Repeater, it's basic, you know what it is. Rutabaga. I'm putting Rutabaga with Repeater, because Rutabaga in Eclise gets paired with Torchwood. It actually works like that. So Rutabaga Torchwood is fantastic. Rutabaga by itself is fantastic. It hits in a weird way because it shoots at diagonals, but if you can get a bunch of these out, it's another unstoppable force. There's just so much shooting, and it's good. It also hits things from behind. If a Gargantuar throws an imp, it can shoot the imp. If something like a wizard happens, doesn't really do much against wizards, but octopi, it's good against that. I like this. Sap Fling, I think, is decent. You want to tier this thing up because it does damage. But you know what? I'm debating on whether, like, decent or very useful. I'm not sure. We'll put it in very useful for now, actually. Because this lets you stall, like, slow down zombies. And you can still use fire plants. So you don't have to use Snow Pea for that. So, yeah, very useful. Shadow Shroom pretty much does insta-kills. It's a fast thing. Extremely useful. You get this thing really late in the game, but you feed this to anything and pair it with Sunbeam, and that stonks. You feed this just to anything and it just kills it. Like, sarcophagus guys, other really strong things, they eat it, they die. It's just good. I don't know what the hell you are, but you don't exist. Shrinking Violet, you want to tier this thing up. It's great when it's tiered up. When normally I'd say it's decent, it shrinks things. Makes it easier to kill tough zombies or Gargantuars or whatever. Shrinking Violet, good. Don't know what you are. You look weird. I don't know what you are. Snapdragon is 400 in Eclise. I'd say it's very useful. It does a bunch of damage. Hits a couple lanes ahead of it. It's better than Cold Snap in my opinion, because Cold Snap doesn't do as much damage, but it slows. But this just does damage. It roasts. It's good. Snow Pea. We're nearing the end soon. Snow Pea, absolutely at the top. Snow Pea, you can get that thing out. It stalls a bunch. You can get more sun this way. Stalls a zombie. Snow Pea combined with Primal Pea is fantastic. It slows things down, pushes things away. It's just incredible. I'm running out of things to say. I've been recording for 40 minutes, goddamn. Solar Tomato? I don't even know what, like, you exist. I don't even remember what Solar Tomato does. I'm just putting you in the mime tier because I don't even know what Solar Tomato even is. It's there though. Spike Weed. Spike Weed, decent. You can have zombies walk on it. It does damage. Spike Rocks, also getting paired with this. It's a little bit more expensive, has more recharge, but it does double damage. So, decent. Split Pea. Split Pea, meh. Because with Split Pea, it's a pea shooter forward, repeater backward, but also there's plenty of other things that you can do to get rid of zombies. Really only good against prospectors, but also electric current exists, and also hitting prospectors with snow pea puts out their dynamite so they don't jump. So why would you even want to use Split Pea? Spore Shroom, I tiered up, and I like tiered up. I'd still say it's decent at tier 1. It shoots faster, I believe, but doesn't do as much damage, but you can get a Spore Shroom out, and then it kills things, and then more Spore Shrooms show up, and that's just even more damage. Tiered up, it's better. Tier 1, though, it's fine. Spring Bean. I am making a tier specifically for Spring Bean. We're moving you down. Spring Bean. And making you green. Even more green than bad. Spring Bean, oh my god, Spring Bean. I've said this so many times. Spring Bean is the worst plant in the whole game, quote me. It knocks back a zombie, which is good. It has that going for it. It knocked back a zombie. It knocks back one singular zombie, and by the time the zombie gets back up to the Spring Bean is still asleep and gets eaten. Trying to place a Spring Bean down in a tough situation has the Spring Bean get eaten before it even gets to do anything. If you're using Spring Bean for stalling, when Chili Bean exists, when I don't think I've done everything else. Where the hell is everything? When Squash exists, Potato Mine, Primal Potato Mine, Shadow Shroom, Celery Stalker, even though Celery Stalker takes a while to come out, but Celery Stalker, Guacodile even, literally anything else in the game. I use Homing Thistle for all of this stuff, so Homing Thistle outclasses everything else in this list in terms of stalling and stuff, and one-hit kill stuff like Potato Mines and whatever. If you're using Spring Bean for anything at all, we can't be friends. I'm sorry, we can't be friends. It's just not gonna work out between us. It's good in Pirate Seas, it knocks things off in Pirate Seas, but in most Pirate Seas levels in Eclise, it's banned. In the world it's the most useful in, like, 90% of the levels you can use it, it's banned. I mean, it one-shots Gargantuars in Pirate Seas if you can do that, but, like, when are you ever getting the chance? Spring Bean is so garbage. Squash. Pretty much insta-kills everything except for Gargantuars. I like Squash a lot. It's one of my favorite things to do. It kills pretty much everything there. I'd even put Squash in extremely useful. If you need to kill a bunch of stuff at once, it's just better Shadow Shroom at that point. If there's a bunch of zombies clustered together and they have a lot of defense. Stalia in Eclise doesn't just slow things down, but it also pushes them back a couple tiles. It's just better Spring Bean in every way. I'd say Stalia just goes in the best. It just knocks everything back except for mechs, but other than that, it's just one of the best things you can possibly use. Starfruit, I severely underrate. Starfruit is decent. You'd want to tier this thing up to have it do even more damage, but as it stands in Eclise, it does like 90 damage a hit. It's like insane. I would actually even put Starfruit up here, because if you can get the thing out, it's like good. It's like slightly worse Rutabaga, because of the directions it shoots is really weird. But if you can get Starfruit to work, it works really well. Straw Burst, I never got to use until Eclise. I think it's meh. Only because it's 700 sun, and it takes... Also, where the hell did I put Jack-o'-lantern? Okay, yeah, Jack-o'-lantern's here. Yeah. Straw Burst, you put it in the back, and it's like a long-term explosive. You can shoot it. I'd say it's like the best thing it's useful against is like Fisher zombies in Big Wave Beach Part 2. Because that it just lets you kill them. So yeah, it's also good for like other really strong things. You combine these with walnuts for a bunch of stalling. You can get really good explosives out if you can get a bunch of these. Other than that though, I'd say it's meh. Stunyon stalls a bunch of zombies, a couple zombies in a thing in one area. Tiered up, it's a lot better. It's just very useful. I'd say it's there. Tiered up, it's better. It stuns for longer and stuff, but you can stall for a really long time with Stunyon. It's just better iceberg lettuce. Sunshroom, tier 1 Sunshroom. You get it out. It's very useful. Tier 3 has the sun production sped up by a lot because it grows faster, but if you're using this, it's good. Sunbeam, I severely underrate, but I recently started using Sunbeam combined with Shadow Shroom. Tiered up, it gives you so much stonks, but Sunbeam normally still gives you a lot of sun. Zombie eats it, and then you get sun from it. This combined with anything that kills zombies in one hit, really good. I'm just speeding by. Sunflower, it's Sunflower. Sunflower is obviously at the top, it's Sunflower. We put that there. Sweet Potato, things can get put into another lane. Yeah, we'll put this here, because it's combined with Aloe, it's really good. You can have all the zombies get clustered into one area, and then have a bunch of stuff, like a laser beam or anything else that just can hit a bunch of stuff at once. It's good for crowd control, and then you can get everything in one area, and then kill it with like a bomb, or squash, or whatever. Tall Nut is my go-to nut of choice. Tiered up, it has like 200 more HP and costs a little bit more, but still, tier 1 by itself, extremely useful, one of the best things you can have. Tangle Kelp is meh because it takes out one zombie, good against snorkels, good against octopi if you want to get that thing out right away. Don't really have much else to say about Tangle Kelp. 3-Peter, I just say is bad. You'll get it, and it's like immediately outclassed by everything else. At the point in the game that you get it, it costs a lot of sun, and you don't have a lot of sun production unless you sun spam. I'd just rather have other things out than 3-Peter. Time Warp I unlocked. I'd say it's meh, because it's good for taking things out, as in, like, if you're in a bad situation, you can send it back to the beginning of the lane, but then it gets all its health back. It's still fine. I haven't taken a drink of water this entire time. I should probably do that. I've been going for almost an hour, what the hell? Tile Turnip, bad, meh, it's meh. If you can get Tile Turnip out, it's good, but you get Tile Turnip so late in the game that's barely even useful when you get it. It just lets you get other power tiles, and you can combine that with the plant food. If you can combine this with Power Lily, or like and Homing Thistle, or Apple Mortar, or whatever, that's just a lot, or even Sunflower, that's just a lot. But as a standalone Tile Turnip, I am indifferent. Toadstool is 400. I love the way Toadstool is, like, the way Toadstool works in Eclise. It insta-kills imps, flying zombies, and animal zombies, and you get sun for doing that, and by itself, it has a lot of range, does a lot of damage, it's just overall good, and you get extra sun for dealing with other extra threats. Torchwood, I didn't use Torchwood that much, but Torchwood is very useful if you combine it with a bunch of peas, and even Rutabaga as well. Twin Sun, I did not use as much as Sun. Oops. Yeah, it goes somewhere here. I did not use as much as Sun and Primal Sun, but it's gonna go in extremely useful just because it gives good Sun. Walnut, tiered up Walnut. Tier 2 Walnut is better, but Walnut by itself is a decent plant that you can use. It's a stall, it's fine. Combined with Aloe, it's even better. It just extends the longevity of the walnuts. Don't know what you are. Don't know what you are. Winter Melon is like 900, has really bad recharge, but it does like twice the amount of damage, I think, than Melon Pole. I think when it's tiered up, it does that. I don't remember. But it does that. And stuff. Where the hell did I even put Melon? It's there. It does the same tier as Melon. It's just good. It slows and stuff. Witch Hazel, I'd say, last but not least, Witch Hazel. I'd say Witch Hazel is just bad. It one-shots wizards first and one-shots other things, but the recharge is just meh. And it turns things into, like, Sun, I think, in Eclise. I used it maybe, like, once or twice. I need to get, like, a screenshot or something. I'll put it in, like, somewhere. Actually, do I even want to do that? I mean, the custom stuff that's in Eclise, there's Garlemite. Just imagine it. Garlemite, I'd say, is very useful. We'll take, like, a... Nah, I'm not even gonna. Garlemite, very useful. It's 0 Sun. You can place it whenever you want. It takes one zombie, puts it in another lane. It's just one-time use garlic. But it's good that way. And Ice Shroom, I'd also say is in the very useful. I'd say, yeah, Garlemite, Ice Shroom, and Crystal Shroom are all in the very useful. Because I said Garlemite, Ice Shroom, it only is useful in nighttime levels, but it's always useful in nighttime levels, completely stalls everything for a really long time. And Crystal Shroom, you have it in the thing, it works the same way as Sapfling, except it slows zombies down for like a second, and it completely deals with the torch zombies, anything that has to do with fire, it gets rid of all the fire. And then plant fooded up, it's even better. I have been talking for a lot longer than I thought I would be to make a tier list for PVZ2 Eclise. I'm just gonna say, just imagine things are in a specific order. I don't even have anything, I don't even want to put things in a specific order. This is just everything I think it generally is very useful. We'll actually bring Electric Blueberry up, because I think this is extremely useful. We'll bring Sunbeam up. Bring Cherry Bomb up. Cauliflower up. We will move... let's see. Just want to see if there's anything else. We'll move Guacodile and Parsnip. Guacodile up. Parsnip stay there. Hurricane and Jalapeno go up. They're just really good. Let's see here. Hypnoshroom up, baby? I think this is a solid tier list for Eclise. I think this is really all I gotta say. We'll even just go here so you can see the full thing. It's not even the full thing. Never mind. We'll zoom out. We'll do this. Can I see the whole thing? Nope. Let's see if I can make... I should probably also do another tier real quick, which is just the watermark tier. Add row above. And then we'll call this the watermark tier. And then we'll make it gray. And that goes up. Cool. Because then there's this watermark. I think this is a pretty solid list. You can see everything right here. I think that's really all I gotta say. I wanted to have this as an upload for the day, and now I gotta freaking add a bunch of music in the background that you'll be hearing throughout the video. Some things might change in my opinions on some things, but this is pretty much the gist of how much I think is the best, really good, pretty good, decent stuff that you can use, bleh, terrible, spring bean. I guess thank you very much for watching this tier list. I want to do other tier list type things for probably like Splatoon, because I've just had ideas for like Splatoon related tier list things for Splatoon. I'm going delirious. Thank you for watching. I've been talking for a long time, and this has been my Plants vs. Zombies 2 Eclise tier list.